Ladies and gents, welcome back. Dutch farmers are in revolt, and well, the news around the world is ignoring this story. So let's get right into it. We have here from Marie Oakes, Dutch farmers protesting outside the home of Minister for Nitrogen and Nature Policy against government's plan to target the livestock sector with nitrogen emission cuts. The plan could see up to 30% reduction in livestock farming and farms out of businesses. We have here, they're flipping a police car and mulching grain at the police here. We have Radio Geneva, Holland towards total paralysis. Tens of thousands of Dutch farmers block distribution centers and roads everywhere. Citizens stand in solidarity with the protests in the video situation in Zwolle. We have Ryan Gerritstein saying the Dutch farmers are not messing around. Amazing. And hashtag the Netherlands. This is the lineup from the protests here. We have another shot here. Malcolm Roberts taking to Twitter to say, this is the end path of climate change activism. Eventually, everything has to be stopped. Even our food supply. Dutch farmers are protesting new rules that would close farms and force them to kill off livestock to curb emissions. Godspeed to the farmers. Now, Kian Baxt has been reporting on a bunch of this. I've been getting a lot of information. He's from a counter signal. Kian Baxt saying dairy farmers are dumping their milk in protest of government's World Economic Forum agenda. There are going to be massive shortages shortly, so prepare yourself for that. Counter signal. Here's Kian Baxt reporting saying, the Dutch people are rising up to protest destructive World Economic Forum climate law. We're going to share their story with the world. The World Economic Forum, controlled Dutch government, announced last week to end to modern farming, putting harsh controls on nitrogen and spelling the end of thousands of family farms. In response, Dutch farmers took a page out of the Canadian Freedom Convoy playbook. They took to the highways, blockaded borders, and launched massive protests. So far, the global media has vilified the farmers, brushing aside the concerns with the New World Order style policy and propagating government lines. Farmers are worried that this is one step closer to a global food crisis and total government control of the food supply. This is critical journalism, and it falls under... Okay, yeah, this is the counter signal bringing the story to us, and here I am bring it to you. And yeah, Kian Baxt has been sharing all of this on Twitter. I'll put links again in the description down below so you can check it all out for yourself. And as this develops, this sign roughly translates to don't mess with the farmers. I'm not going to say that because the YouTube overlords don't like that. Fishermen have joined the protests and are blockading the harbor of Loenshoek. Ships can't come in or out. Right now, tractors, trucks, and cars are taken to the highways in the Netherlands to protest the new World Economic Forum laws. And protesters say they will destroy the farming. They will destroy farming in the country as you know it. Now here's a overlook of the highways, and all of this is all becoming controlled by these farmers. The Dutch uprising. Get into this article here. Dutch farmers violently protest job-destroying climate change policies. Yeah, this is different than the Canadian Convoy playbook. The Canadian Convoy, of course, was completely peaceful. But this is what happens when people mess with people's livelihoods. Violence can occur. Dutch farmers are fighting for their very livelihoods, taking to the streets over climate change policy that would cap nitrogen emissions and lead to massive job loss. Now, before we get into this, what's the deal with nitrogen? We don't want nitrogen in our air. Well, a quick Google search away gets you to understand just how much nitrogen is already in the air. Air contains 23% oxygen and 77% nitrogen by weight. This is a normal thing for the world, but you know, we're trying to cap that and get out of the nitrogen. Why? Well, we'll see about that. Video shows several farmers on the streets attacking police and emergency vehicles with sledgehammers, while others chase the vehicles down and launch kicks against the windows. And that's this video here. Dutch farmers have been protesting in the streets for days against government plans to target the livestock sector with nitrogen emissions cuts. The government said the honest message is that not all farmers can continue their business. This is the... God, I just like tone deaf. These people don't get it. In another video, farmers who brought their own tractors can be seen outside the Minister of Nitrogen and Nature Policy spraying their house, spraying what appears to be manure on the house and police vehicles while their protesters attempt to flip the car. And that's the video that I showed you earlier. According to Bloomberg yesterday, several farmers also brought their cows to Parliament to protest the policy, going as far as threatening to slaughter them on the spot. Here in quotes from a farmer: "If the nitrogen measures are adopted, one of these two ladies will not go home but will receive a one-way ticket to the slaughterhouse." Farmer Kuz Kromwijik, sorry for brutally mispronouncing your name, told Dutch news agency ANP outside Parliament. The policy in question would require Dutch businesses to reduce nitrogen emissions nationwide by 50% and up to 95% in some provinces by 2030, with cows and fertilizers being significant contributors. The honest message is that not all farmers can continue their business, a government statement reads. Completely tone deaf. That farmers are what make life possible for all of us on this planet, including government officials. And let me tell you, if people are going to go without food, I think a lot of people are going to say, well, the government officials should be the first to go without. The agriculture industry isn't the only one being targeted, although aviation is also coming under fire. According to Climate Change News, by the end of 2023, Schiphol Airport, one of the busiest in Europe, will be forced to limit its annual flights to accommodate just 440,000 passengers, 12% less than the number of flights in 2019. This is a difficult message for the aviation sector that is still recovering from the far-reaching consequences of coronavirus pandemic, said Transport Minister Mark Harbers. Climate change activists are, of course, thrilled by the developments, with Greenpeace calling this cap on the airport traffic a historic breakthrough. But it's good that Cabinet realizes that Schiphol has for years been flying beyond all boundaries when it comes to noise, nitrogen, ultrafine particles in the climate change. Greenpeace activist Dewel Zolich said in a statement. Now, of course, do you think for a moment any of these world leaders are leading by example? Are they riding their bicycles to Davos to have their annual fancy pants meetings? Are they eating the bugs? Is this the diet that they're leading by example with? No, of course they're not. It's do as I say, not as I do. They want us to make the cuts. They want us to make the sacrifices, and they want to live their lavish lifestyles and fly in their private jets nonetheless. So this is the story that's happening in the Netherlands, Holland. The Dutch farmers are taking to the streets because they've just had enough. And, well, their livelihoods are at stake here. And we need to show support. Get on social media. Show support for what it is that they're doing. Get out there. Or do whatever you like, but I know I'll be showing my support. Anyway, that's all I have for you in this video this morning. We'll see you in the next video. Keep on trucking.